Michael Christian, three notable men with one thing in common. Any idea? All of them died without a will. Now, regardless of how wealthy or well-known you are, having a will is important for every family. And since August is National Make a Will Month, it's a great time to make sure your loved ones are protected. Here with more on the estate planning process, we have financial professional Ken Heise here from the Heise Advisory Group.
Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. Now, I know death, not exactly a sweet subject. Do you think this is probably a reason why so many people tend to put this off? Because we see that happen more often than not.
Oh, absolutely. So many people don't want to talk about getting sick. They don't want to talk about dying. It's just not something that we want to spend time doing. So what happens is that that kind of an attitude is having a severe impact on families as people do get sick, as people do die. And if you don't go ahead and create your own documents, the state has documents for you. And the plan might end up quite different than what you really want. And there's just a few simple steps that you can take to avoid all that problem.
Yeah, and speaking of those steps, how does one get started? Because I'm sure that isn't just the first thing that comes to mind, like, oh, go to get a will and I know exactly what to do.
Sure. The first step is to go get that will. The will is the document that tells the probate court how you want your assets distributed at death. It's a good first step. It's the cornerstone. But what we've found in our practice when we do our retirement roadmap reviews is that a lot of folks don't have durable power of attorney for financial matters. In today's financial world, most families have assets in IRAs or 401ks, and those are all individually owned accounts. So a durable power of attorney for financial matters allows the spouse to manage and use those assets should the owner become incapacitated. So the will handles assets after death. The durable power of attorney handles assets prior to death.
And you mentioned making things easier for your family after you die, which is so important. We learned some of those lessons with people that I mentioned, like Martin Luther King Jr. Talk on that. What kind of happened there?
Well, that's kind of an interesting one. That's one where they simply didn't have a plan. And having a plan is so critical. He was young. He died at 39, and he didn't really have a lot of assets. So a lot of people think that, you know, I'm young, I don't have many assets, I really don't need to do this. But what happened is he had his Nobel Peace Prize and his Bible. And today they're saying those two items could be valued anywhere from $10 to $30 million. And now his children are arguing in court as to what to do with those and how to do that. So everyone should have a will, and especially if you have young children, you should have a will in place.
All right, so very important information here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you guys want any information there, you guys can contact the Heise Advisory Group for more on that. Ken, thanks so much.